Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of pandas in Python. Whether you're an aspiring computer vision guru or a large language model wizard, this video is your golden ticket. So let's make data fun and understandable. Now you've just learned about NumPy if you watched the other two videos, and now we're going to switch over to Pandas, another vital library that is incredibly helpful for individuals who work in this sector. This is video 11 out of 20 in our beginner series and introduction to AI. Now Pandas is a powerhouse in data manipulation and analysis in Python. It's like the Swiss Army knife for data scientists and engineers. But why Pandas, you ask? Well, it's simple, efficient, and versatile, making it perfect for handling large datasets, just like the ones you'll encounter in AI work. Now, in the world of Pandas, everything revolves around series and data frames. Think of a series as a single column of data, while a data frame is like the whole table with rows and columns that are filled with data. It's like the building blocks for your data empire. So first, let's look at some basic Pandas operations, and let's get our hands dirty by creating a series and data frame from scratch. So again, we're going to import the library pandas as PD as step 0. Now, we'll first create our series. So I'll call it data series, and you basically invoke the object from the pandas library with pd.series, and then you can populate it. So here, let's just go up to 4, and then you can print that data series. And boom, you actually just created it as essentially a column, and it even tells you the D type of int64. What's interesting is on the left-hand side, this is telling you the different types of indexes that accompany your data. So remember how in the last two videos, I was also talking about how in all these data structures, indexing starts with 0? That's exactly the position of this value of 1. In other words, 1 is indexed at 0, 2 is indexed in the position of the first position, and so forth with 3 and 4. Now, let's actually dive a little bit further into creating your data frame. So, data frame, similarly, I just invoke it from the library, so it's data frame. And what's fun here is you actually use curly brackets for data frames, which is fascinating because normally these denote in Python dictionaries. So we'll call this column 1. And then here, we'll call 1, 2, 3. And then let's make a second column 2, colon. Is there sort of like pseudo key value pairs, but with data frames. And now you'll see that we've actually made a whole table where, again, on the very left, you have the indices, but then at the very top for every single column, you have them named as column 1 and column 2. So you might be wondering, what is the actual difference between my series and between my data frame? Well, they primarily differ along 3 axes of dimensionality, of their ability to be manipulated, and their ultimate desired use cases. First, let's talk about the case of dimensionality. While a series, as you can see above, is single dimensional, that makes it ideal for representing a single variable's data. A data frame, by contrast, is more suitable for representing multiple variables and their relationships. Second is the axis of data manipulation. Now with a series, operations are generally per element, similar to NumPy arrays in the previous video. In contrast with the data frame, there are more complex operations like group by, pivot, and multiply dataset joins, similar to SQL operations. Third, you've got the ideal use case. Series data types in general are ideal for tasks that require a single uniform column of data that stores output of a single feature from a dataset. Meanwhile, a data frame is used in scenarios where multiple related data columns are required to perform more complex data analyses and manipulations. So now, let's actually build an example of using data that might be relevant in a computer vision application. Pandas helps you manipulate image metadata or results from the image processing algorithms efficiently. So I'm going to call this our example for image and metadata storage. So we'll call it image_data, and I'm going to actually just build it with file name. You can tell that we're building a data frame here. And then the value that corresponds to this will be image 1, JPEG, and then image 2, JPEG. Again, we're just making these up, but this is supposed to sort of give you a little bit more detail about a possible use case. 1024, 248, common image structure, and then finally the third column will be the height. All right. Oh, and of course I messed that up just a little bit. There you go. And now if you want to actually check out the data frame for those images, what we all have to do is basically bind that image data structure into the Pandas data frame. So first I basically populated the data and then I passed it into the data frame, which you're seeing right here. And then you can actually print data frame images. Boom. So imagine sorting, filtering, or even analyzing thousands of images with just a few lines of code. Now, even more time relevant, let's hop to some examples that demonstrate how Pandas can be used for GenAI and LLM unique use cases. Here, data preprocessing and analysis are crucial. Pandas could actually really help you in organizing and preprocessing training data for these types of models. So here, I'm going to now walk through another example of possibly preprocessing text data for a potential LLM. So what we're going to do now is we'll take text data, and similar to the data frame above, we'll create an ID. I'll just simplify it with indexes 1 and 2, referring to their identity. And then I'll actually bind that to some text values here, where got text, colon, and then what we actually care about here is a text blob. In this case, we'll call the first one hello world in the index, and the second one, let's say pandas is the best. All right, so now you've got df text, data frame text, and then what I do is I take that pandas data frame and I pass text data into that data frame. So when I print df text, voila, you now have your data frame that structures these text bodies based off of a provided ID. And that's a wrap on Pandas in Python. Remember that this is just the beginning. Dive into the documentation, experiment with your datasets, and keep exploring. If you love this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and let us know what you want to learn in the comments below. Stay curious and keep coding, friends. This is video 11 out of 20 in our beginner series on Introduction to AI. By the end of this series, you'll be ready to learn more advanced concepts of AI and machine learning, which will allow you to elevate your career in tech and remain in demand on the job market.